So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alan. I'm the marketing manager for Airbus in Asia Pacific. My slide today is rather interesting for startup companies, for entrepreneurs, for people who have an idea, a project in hand, or a project that they want to do. So, the topic for today is: are we ready to play? What do we mean by are we ready to play? Very simple. Today we have in Airbus, we've got different multi-sources, multi-resolution of our constellations up in space. And this dates back to 1986. So that's about 30 over years from now. So so what we have today is we've got 30 over years of data that we can use. But what can we use for? Because we have 22 meters, we have 15 meters, we have 25 centimeters, we even have a 20 centimeters kind of a data imagery. Of course, when we say that a picture speaks more than 1,000 words, what can we do with it? And this is where actionable intelligence comes in, where we actually crunch all this data. I mean, it could be a picture of the entire Thailand, it could be a picture of just Bangkok, but what you want to see from a picture is you want to know the number of buildings, or even a congested intersection, and how many cars are there. All these things, well, of course, it's a big question right now, but with all this innovation today, with all the digitalization today that's going on, it's very simple with what we can do. Over here, you can see the slides. Here are just a few examples of the offerings that we have today. They're not all of it, but it's just to let you understand what innovation is all about, what Startup Thailand, what entrepreneurs who wants to be, or who has a very great idea, but they just don't know where to start. So this is where Airbus could potentially help you to actually kickstart and accelerate your business, accelerate your idea, and really put that into perspective, into a business proposition. So over here, just to show you in a few examples, we have field maps. And field maps is typically a kind of a platform where you actually segregate crops, where you actually segregate between corn or rice, or even any other kind of medium. We have Stack Insights, and Stack Insights is typically a mining solution, where in countries like Papua New Guinea, they have a lot of mines, and they want to know the terrain. They want to know what's happening with the change detection. So if you're going to calculate, say, a span of 5 years, what kind of a historical value it has the mine change, has the weather, has the mines, or even the soil, for the matter, changed. All this is through the different years and the different data that you have, and you crunch all that into actionable intelligence. Icanio is also a startup company that we've done with in the rest of the world, and this is really the topic of the entire agenda, which is the imageries at the fingertips of your palm. Because today you have imagery just in your phone, you can have it at your laptop, you can have it in any tablet, any form of medium. We have Starling over here, and it talks about Starling is a very interesting solution. It's developed to understand deforestation. It's developed to understand how forest is being deforested, how trees are slowly being cut away, and what is the what is the community and what is the government trying to do. So all these offerings actually help the community and help the public to understand more about the place that we live in. It's all about the imageries that we have on hand, which I mean, it's 30 over years of imagery, and most definitely we can see a very, very big pattern in terms of how the land has moved, what kind of a weather, what kind of a tide, and all these things is just at the fingertips of your hands. If I move on to my next slide, we will ask ourselves, but why do we need imageries? Why do we need data to start up with all this? Very simple thing. When I came here, I use Google Maps. When I need to take a taxi, I use an application that has a map. When I need to go somewhere, I need to find a nice restaurant, I use a map. So, in other words, it's inevitable that every time when we want to do something, most of our times we use a map. We need data, we need imagery, we need something to guide us. We need a certain visual to help us understand where we are and where we're going. And in this case, of course, Airbus needs partners, needs entrepreneurs, needs startups, companies like that, who has a great idea, a great initiative, a great innovation, but they just need to kickstart. And this is where we come in, to expand the market with you, of course, to digitalize the service, and to help you to open up the innovation to other markets as well, and create new partners. The areas of interest is very interesting because it evolves practically everything from defense and security, where you need to, or I would say a certain particular government would need to disseminate information from the ground to the air, from the ground to the Navy. So this is where we come in as well, because we have different platforms that could potentially do that, and of course it goes further. In terms of maritime, we need to know whether if a particular vessel is illegal in the seas, whether if there is illegal fishing, whether if the ship has turned off their AIS and they don't want it to be detected. So with all this imagery, we can really pinpoint really exact where they are and really get that part of that information and become, you know, a very, very crucial information for any government. In agriculture, a big part of the business in Thailand, of course, we all want to know whether if the crops are doing well. Because without actionable intelligence, without all this information, we don't know. We'll just be buying fertilizers, we'll be just doing what we need to do, all the farming and everything. But the question in the end is, it's the yield. Are we making a profit? We don't know, because we don't have all the information. In forestry, of course, this is pretty much similar to agriculture, where we really want to know how forest is being preserved, and what can we do about it. Of course, the list goes down. In terms of civil engineering, you have a dam, and you would like to know whether if the dam has any movements that could potentially break. We have oil and gas and mining. This is another very big industry as well, to understand where the diggers, where can we rig oil, and in which location. And all these things, we need maps. We need data, we need historical data, we need change detection in order to understand how the world has evolved. Avionics is also another big part of our interest as well, and of course, for Startup Thailand. And location-based services, as I've just mentioned, we need to find a place, we need to go where we need to go, we need a taxi, and all these things are very location-based in terms of the services. And civil institutions, of course, we're talking about engineers, construction, big buildings, and they need all this information to really pinpoint out where the exact location is. I didn't mention one more thing, which is autonomous driving. Now, we have, in Airbus, we have ground control points that you can actually make use of, so that when it comes to autonomous driving, it's a very big word in today's market, right? Because we don't know how to start, we don't know where to go. When it comes to, this is where ground control points come in, as in to really define where the autonomous car is driving, whether if there is a lamppost or whether if there is an intersection, and it gives pinpoint accuracy in terms of autonomous driving. So these are the different platforms, I would say, or the different data and information that could help any entrepreneur, any startup companies to really think really hard and deep and say, I want to build, say, for example, an autonomous platform that maybe for, not for cars, but maybe for bikes. And this is where, you know, we probably have to work out with that company, with that startup company, and say, let's do this. and see if it's a viable product, and we go to the market together. So the partners to grow for our One Atlas service. Now we call this a One Atlas service is because it's everything in one platform. For you to really just play around with, it's generally an Airbus playground that's literally free, right? So what you do is you port your services, your platform, what is your creativity, your innovation into our One Atlas platform. And you do, and with all the data, with all the processing power, with all these insights, analytics, and the API that we will be integrated into your entire platform, you could do a lot of things with a lot of data imagery. Now, I give you an example in Asia. We were approached by, or I was approached by a company in Asia to say, you know, they asked me, say, hey, Alan, I want to know the number of roofs, say in Bangkok, and I need to know the material of the roof in Bangkok. And I said, why do you need to know that? They said, yeah, because we need to know if we could fix solar panels on top of that roof. And with that information, they could really, at that precision point, to order the X amount of number of solar panels, so they don't waste the money into ordering excessive solar panels from a company. Or they could tabulate very with accuracy in terms of their profit and loss, in terms of their profitability, in terms of their revenue. There's another company approached me and asked me, you know, if we have a solution for wind turbines, right? So I said, well, obviously I have a lot of data, but I don't have a solution for wind turbines. So I said, well, you know, if you look for a startup company or entrepreneur who's willing to innovate that, who has that particular data and integrate that into our platform, then yes, we have a win-win situation. We have a solution for that. This is just a few, you know, ideas that were kind of coming in and out as from a marketing perspective. But there are a lot of companies today, and there are a lot of customers. They are really asking for such solutions, such services. But in today's digital world, we're still lacking, to be honest, because we have 30 over years of data, but the amount of data that is being crunched and used as actionable, intelligent information is still at that very tip of the iceberg. It's still not deep enough. And that's why we need startup companies. That's why we're working with startup companies. We need to integrate that into our platform. We need to go to the market together. We need to really bring the innovation and that creativity out into the market. So as you can see, there are different ways of serving the market. One of them is software as a service, and the other one is data as a service and platform as a service. So it depends on the type of usage, the type of service, the type of data or intelligence information that's being churned out. And it can be used through our thematic services, which is our constellation. We've got 11 satellites up in space. We've got different resolutions, different sources from radar to optical. And today, of course, GISTA is our strategic partner here in Thailand, but feel free to approach Airbus. I mean, we have got so much of information, so much of data that we can produce, and today is really a great time to get together in Startup Thailand and have endless possibilities, as we will say. So the key idea of this sandbox, we call it, solution, it's like a little playground for startup companies in Airbus. We have an API for you to integrate. We have the data that's ready in that sandbox application, in that sandbox portal. We have the processing power. Of course, we have the analytics that you need and the insights as well. So we have all these tools that are ready to really bring out the best in your creativity, in terms of innovation and in terms of what the market needs. So we support various initiatives as well. One of them is, of course, Startup Thailand. But there are other initiatives that's going on as well. And as you can see, in terms of the maturity level, we're really at that peak of really understanding what the market are, what really the services are today. And of course, we have done a lot of Airbus Geo Challenge, 133 startups to be exact, right? And as you can see, it's a worldwide initiative with a 4-month-long kind of exercise. And we have a prize as well in terms of the last output. We want to have partnerships with startup companies who really want to create that value. At the end of the day, they want to turn out to be business. So this is just one picture to let you understand. You can find this at the YouTube, but it's an Airbus Geo Challenge finale. We have the CEO here speaking to a group, to a team, to really make them understand that these are all innovation initiatives and being creative about the different data that we have. So this is a 3-step approach. One of them is I call it a sandbox idea, where you have an idea, a very nice, creative idea, and you want to try to put that, you want to make that work. So you can integrate that within our sandbox platform. This sandbox platform is an enclosed area, so it's not really available to the market yet, but it's really for entrepreneurs, for startup companies to really play around with their ideas and their solutions. And you design the idea from within. The next will be, of course, to test it. And you go to the much bigger area. From a sandbox, you go to a bigger playground to really find out, I guess, look at bugs, look at how you want to improvise, how do you want to improve it to go to the next level. So it's a much bigger area compared to the sandbox. But again, this is enclosed. And this is a portal that's literally free for you to really try out. And of course, at the end of the day, you go to the resellers, you want to sell your product, you want to talk to your partners, you want to talk to various clients worldwide, you want to look into ventures within Airbus, and we have this Biz Lab that's going on right now. Apparently the brochures are outside, so we can grab one of those. So this is a 3-step approach again. It's an innovative idea from Airbus to really help you understand and elevate your business to the next level. So in a nutshell, Airbus digital platform is within the sandbox area, and you design the idea within it. After that, of course, you try to test the idea yourself, and you play around with it. We're there to help you. We have tons of data. It's all in that sandbox that for you to really aggregate, for you to put your business and put your solutions into gears. And of course, we come to the next level in terms of partnership and how we can really bring that to the next level with you. So, Playground validates your MVP. As what my French colleagues have spoken in the morning. It's between the partner and how you process it in the Docker, and after that, get into the gears of all the analytics, the data that you need to know, and you get feedback and results back to you. So it's a minimum viable product. So if you have something that you have a thought, you have an innovation, you want to be innovative, try to look into that first step for you to innovate yourself first, and then you go to the next level. So it's a lot easier for you in terms of ideas, in terms of how you want to aggregate your innovation and your ideas at a later stage. So of course, we go to definitely we'll end up further into the collaboration of how mutually we'll be in terms of interest. We could potentially have a joint product development within the Airbus group, We have a one Atlas user. We can appoint resellers. We can talk about academic innovation and technology, and of course the venturing and go-to-market eventually. So the different kinds of partnership schemes that we have, and it all depends on what kind of solutions and ideas, collaboration that you might have. So these are just some success stories around the world. In the UK, we work with Orbital Witness. So they provide imagery for the real estate division. So what they do is they have a nice platform that uses our data imagery and understand the entire geospatial GIS platform for legal purposes. And as we speak, it's already happening right now. It's live. They are working with us live. They've been doing it for many years already. Kermap, right? It's another company that uses satellite imagery to support the ecological transition of cities. So again, there's a lot of geospatial innovation to it. It could not be just buildings. But just to give you a lot of ideas, is just, it could be cars, it could be roads, it could be lampposts, it could be everything and anything else that you see on a picture. OSIS is from Australia, so they kind of identified where the environmental risks are. So they have been with us for a couple of years, and they are providing very, very heavy and precise data for the government to really enhance the well-being of security, right? So again, it doesn't have to be commercial. It could be in defense. It could be a different vertical. You could think about disaster recovery. You could think about low-lying areas for floods, or even any kind of natural disasters from a geospatial perspective. So with that, I end my last slide to really, if you have a great idea, you want to really innovate, you want to go really creative, please go to our website that's listed over there. Sign up, and the platform is virtually free for you to really enhance your creativity and really innovate yourself to the next level. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.